First Coast's most accurate forecast from the First Coast News Weather Team, certified by Weather Rate, sponsored by AC Designs.
Good afternoon, folks, and welcome in here on this Wednesday afternoon. We got a busy show for you here today.
Sure.
Ross and Lou here. We're going to talk tropics, then we're going to talk local weather, then talk a little bit of football. But tropics, big story. We just got some, new news in from the National Hurricane Center. We're getting another tropical system named here.
Yeah, we'll get Umberto on deck. Yeah, so with the 5 o'clock advisory that I'd anticipate being out in the next, they'll usually put these the advisory, the new information when it's a tropical storm that will be named. They'll have that out a few minutes before actual 5 o'clock on the dot. So when you join us at 5 p.m., we'll have the very latest call on what they put out from the Hurricane Center with what will be Umberto. And it's so you see two areas there. They're going to focus on the one that's more in the central Atlantic.
Yeah, the one further to the right or to the east that has a 90% chance of development not only within the next 7 days, but the next 48 hours. And
next
clearly,
20 minutes.
Yeah, within the next
20 minutes, we will get development.
So that kind of just area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms right now. Winds were sustained at 40 miles per hour as of the 2 p.m. Update and advisory from the National Hurricane Center. But clearly things are ramping up at least a little bit here now, Lou.
It's going to be an interesting look. So they're obviously going to focus on what the here and now is, what actually is going to be named Umberto. That would be what had been 93L, the Invest, right? And now what we've got the other 94, which is over near Puerto Rico, some 700 really miles away, so pretty close together. Mm-hmm. So I imagine the cone is going to be analogous to this. It's going to look very similar to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we can kind of look at, that spaghetti model plot with a pretty consistent turn more towards the northeast along and along. So that cone, which we'll get here in a few minutes, as the Hurricane Center actually issues it, wouldn't necessarily pose a threat to the east coast of the United States. And that would be fine if we were working with just one storm.
Well, and the thing is, that storm could still play a pivotal role
100%.
in what we do or don't see here by the end of the weekend into early next week, and how it potentially influences or impacts this secondary tropical wave, Invest 94L. If it were to develop, by the weekend or into early next week, Imelda is the next name on the list after Umberto.
Yes.
So, yeah, both of these are going to, impact each other in some sort of way. And that's kind of what's making the forecast difficult right now, not only for us, but also for, all the meteorologists at the National Hurricane Center. We don't often have two, strong areas potentially of low pressure.
Correct.
In so close proximity to one another in this part of the world. It'll often happen, in Western Pacific.
Yes.
You can get those happening with some of those cyclones and typhoons. But here in the tropical Atlantic, I don't know when you have seen it last.
2023, I think we were looking back,
Okay.
if similar, there's a similar scenario where you're getting two that were awfully close to each other, but it is pretty uncommon. Hence, all the uncertainty, whereas what will become Umberto a little bit further east, those spaghetti model plots, pretty tight, pretty consistent, so it gives us confidence that it would, make that kind of northern trek in a way from the east coast of the United States. What we don't see, we see a lot of outliers. Now, there is some consistency in the middle. So, many of the model runs, I'm seeing HMON in there, a good hurricane model, HWRF, kind of showing that turn. But gosh, there are some outliers. And that is because of how this system, which does still have a high chance of development over the next 7 days, right? So it's still up there too. How this system is going to interact with that system. And there is so much that can happen there, and models aren't going to do well with it.
No, they're going to struggle with it.
It's going to be a struggle because, especially our, the ones that focus highly on the Atlantic, that information it's not something that it's seeing all the time. So how it resolves those two things, it's going to matter, A, on their interaction, but B, how this system in near Puerto Rico now interacts with the land.
Yeah, it's going to more than likely move over Hispaniola, the Dominican, and Haiti.
Yes.
There's some pretty high mountainous terrain there on Hispaniola, so, obviously terrain and higher altitude isn't going to assist in tropical development in that regard, but it also just makes it difficult for models to try to, depict what actually is going to occur, when something will form. Does the center of low pressure, form on the southern end of the island, the western, the northern? It really just makes it difficult for the models to try to figure that out. So what we're showing you right now, these are two of the standard ones, right? The European, the GFS. You'll notice the GFS and the European both showing Umberto, continuing to grow and strengthen. This is by Sunday evening. What would that be? About 800-900 miles off our east coast.
Yes.
The European then showing a potential Imelda, perhaps, over the Bahamas, whereas the GFS not so much, at least initially. Now they here, both showing stronger storm off to the east, perhaps a somewhat weaker one, at least initially, off to the west. And again, this is just model depiction, so this is not, you always have to take these with a bit of a grain of salt. But this is kind of just showing how close together they are and how tricky this is eventually going to be.
Sure.
Do they kind of get into this slingshot formation, pulling the other one along with it, Lou?
So holding on this image for a minute, a couple of things I take away. So you look for consistency in runs, you look for agreement in models. That helps make a forecast, and it helps build your confidence. So what I will say is what gives me confidence in what will be Umberto is that both the GFS and the Euro are showing this essentially passing 31 north, so a beam of Jacksonville, at about 70 west. So as Ross mentioned, they're pretty consistent that it'll be about 700 or so miles off the coast. So that's something, to take away. And it's also showing a low, while weak, forming near the Bahamas off the southeast coast of Florida. And more or less, in that European model does a good job of depicting this, kind of coalescing together. Because what's going to happen, the stronger low, the deeper low pressure will have a tendency to be filled, the higher pressure rushing into lower, and we'll certainly could see this low that would form closer to the coast kind of move right back into that system. So, and then thusly moving away.
Yeah. So that would certainly be the best case scenario for us, probably, that it kind of gets pulled into the larger system, not necessarily making one big system. That's not what we're expecting, but perhaps just kind of getting tugged along like the caboose on a train to a certain regard. Yeah,
and essentially almost like it becomes a feeder band or a tropical tail to the bigger, stronger storm. And I get asked this at any elementary or middle school talk I ever do, is what happens when two hurricanes collide with each other, Mr. Lou? And
Mr. Lou,
because they want to hear, it becomes a mega huge superstorm. Yeah, it's going to be bad. But in fact, quite the opposite. One will essentially be sheared apart, steered away, turn into the other, or lose its juice. So I think another good takeaway here is if a low were to impact us, that one a little bit further to the west, it would be significantly weaker, and it would have to be because it spent a lot of time kind of interacting with land. It's developing later, and the stronger system that's going to be within 300 miles at this point. I mean, physics alone is going to create problems for that smaller low.
This town ain't big enough.
Ain't big enough for the both of us as a sun.
Heard that right.
Somehow we manage, though. This town's big enough for us. Somehow we manage. So pretty interesting. I keep, and you're going to forgive me, I just keep refreshing our, so Hurricane Center's officially got our cone out for Umberto, and it's exactly what we were saying.
Okay.
That kind of jibes with those spaghetti model plots.
Why don't we take a quick break?
Yes.
We'll pop back in then. We'll talk a little bit more about it here.
Okay.
Catch you in a few.
Oh, apologies. I'm up here. I'm all tweeting and looking about Umberto, and somebody's keeping me on my P's and Q's. So, Ross, what you're seeing on the graphics right now is my dear colleague Ross actually live updating our graphics, which we officially do now, as we mentioned at the top of the stream, that we were going to get a tropical storm named in Umberto here at the 5 o'clock advisory. And as we also mentioned, Hurricane Center usually will do that about a quarter hour ahead, so that way broadcasters for typical 5 p.m. broadcasts can get graphics ready and to go for 5 p.m. shows. So we do appreciate that and that hustle and having it. But now it's signed, sealed, delivered. And in fact, we've got Tropical Storm Umberto there, 40-mile-an-hour sustained winds, moving at west-northwest right now at 15. And I appreciate your hustle, man.
Yeah,
Way
so
to
I don't
go.
think the cone itself has
Fully rendered?
Yeah, has been ingested into the system yet. So we got the 5 p.m. advisory, Tropical Storm Umberto. That information is correct. It's just the cone has not been able to be pulled into the system.
Hasn't,
so
yeah.
we will have that by 5 o'clock.
For sure.
Rest assured.
Absolutely. And but I will say if you were to, okay, there you go. Thank that you read my mind. So looking at the spaghetti model plot for Umberto, cone lines right up with that. It is the cone itself not going to run out all the way to where the models run out to, so you see 5-day, but and that would take it to near Bermuda or maybe just a little bit further south. What we will not account for, or won't be accounted for with any sort of forecast cone yet, would be that system that we've got to have our other eye on, which is over Puerto Rico right now. Steering flow's got a lot to do with this, but sometimes we think about the jet, we think about troughs, we think about the Bermuda High, but sometimes these systems get so big and powerful that they create their own synoptics. And that's essentially Umberto is going to be a steering flow for this potential storm to closer to the Bahamas.
Yeah, and I think two things stick out to me when looking at this graphic. The wind bar, so those arrows, right? You got an upper level high just to the east of where Umberto is more than likely going to move into, right? So you need that upper level high over the surface low, give the storm its ventilation.
Yep.
Now you look closer to Jacksonville and the eastern seaboard of the United States, you'll notice a nice little dip down across Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, down into Florida, and then back up through the Carolinas, Virginia, and the Mid-Atlantic. That is that upper level trough. We're going to have a cold front kind of move in by Friday and Saturday. That's going to stall out. But that's more than likely going to act as a bit of a barrier, helping to steer it at least somewhat away from the east coast of Florida through Sunday, Monday, Tuesday of next week, just at least based off of this modeling.
Yeah, and this would be European.
Yeah.
The European model. GFS showing a similar image, though, in that it maybe has more of absorbed, that system, so to speak. There is your trough.
This is kind of the same story.
Your jet, helping to steer. Now, up above, up in New England, they're pretty strong high pressure will be settling in. So that in the long range, it'll be interesting to see how that interacts with this whole conglomeration. A lot of moisture, though. So let's think about what this means for us. We've talked a lot of forecast models. We've talked certainly about Umberto. But truly, with a system that stays, at least with the tropical storm, staying 700 miles offshore, you still have that coastal low set up for us. So let's talk about in the here and now. We need to be watching. We've been seeing the timing, and that's been pretty consistent in modeling Sunday to Tuesday, I think. You may be getting a little bit later into a kind of beginning to see some more coastal breezes, rip currents, bigger waves Sunday, but Monday, Tuesday kind of being our days to watch for rough surf, breezy conditions. Could get gusts to 30, maybe higher.
Yeah, and I think a promising thing is multiple models are showing gusts to about 30 right now as the worst. Of course, that can change, but that's always a promising sign when you're getting some consistency between several different models showing that. So,
and that would be subtropical storm strength.
Correct, yeah.
So we've dealt with this. We've had that strong tight nor'easter, over the last 2 weekends ago that we were seeing, 3 weekends ago, we were seeing gusts higher than 30. We were seeing 41 mile an hour gusts. So,
and we had Hurricane Aaron a couple weeks ago that, brought us some coastal conditions. But for a lot of our inland communities, it was a beautiful day.
It was a beautiful day. And that's
and that may be what happens this time. It's just too early to call it that yet.
Way too early. And one of those things I always kind of watch in the wild card in all of this is land interaction, where if it does develop, because it's still, while it is at that 90% chance, land interaction is the wild card. Hispaniola is the wild card, because you talk about Dominican, Haiti, mountainous terrain, and then even trying to get its act together in the Bahamas, while there is very, very warm water there, we'll have to just see. So this is all dependent on if that second system truly does form.
A lot of ifs.
A lot of ifs. And so what that means is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we're prepared for potential impacts, and we're going to need you to check in, I think, on a daily basis when it comes to that second one developing. I like seeing consistency in those two models, though. That's encouraging. Back home.
Here and now?
And let's go here and now. So I think that's our story, for the here and now, is just how hot it's been all day today.
I just like that hot chocolate on the Polar Express.
What a pull. Sing the song.
Yeah. Tom Hanks, man.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, temperatures out there right now, low to mid 90s, feeling like upper 90s, 101 heat index in Keystone Heights, similar story in Gainesville. So, yeah, it is hot with a capital H-O-T. East Coast sea breeze, though, trying to cool some folks off, at least up to about I-95. But if you live further west, I mean, still not too breezy there yet. I mean, it's been a pretty stagnant day with regards to wind, wise. We've seen a few isolated showers popping along the sea breeze locally, but really not all that much. Further out towards I-75, southern Columbia County, Alachua County, seeing a few, lightning strikes out there, but overall not a whole lot to write home about with regards to rain or storm chances today. Now tomorrow,
bumps up.
Yeah, perhaps going to be a different story. Gulf Coast sea breeze is going to be much stronger. That's going to primarily drive our thunderstorm and convection activity by the afternoon. So, Lou, I'm saying pretty much after 3 p.m. tomorrow, just be weather aware. We're going to be watching for some showers and thunderstorms developing initially a little bit further west, working their way east closer to the metro area tomorrow.
With that in mind, break time. We'll talk to you in a minute. Thank you.
Welcome back in, folks. It is that time of the week, a little earlier this week. I will not be here the next 2 days, so we had to bump up our game picks a little bit earlier.
Hurt my heart. So now this is my excuse for when you beat me again, is because you forced me to. I didn't get to do my copious amounts of research.
Of research.
All right,
Yeah.
so I'm just flying blind with some of my picks here.
That's why you got the glasses.
And I really did go kind of flying blind because Notre Dame going to Arkansas just suffered a rough one that we both missed against Memphis.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Arkansas. A little revenge game against a very good Notre Dame team. Why not?
That could be surprising. Noon kickoff?
Why not? Why not Arkansas?
Anything can happen.
I'm giving Ross an opportunity to really take a big lead because we have a couple of different picks in each of this. We went the same way on this one. LSU
Oh, yep.
and at Ole Miss. LSU just keeps on rolling. Alabama at Georgia. ABC.
What are you feeling?
7:30. Woof. Woof, woof,
Oh.
woof. I'm barking like
What's
a
that
dog.
running down the track?
What's it?
Mean Machine?
Mean
the red and black?
Oh, yeah. Is that the song?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think so. I'm not a Georgia fan.
I'm
but-
not, well, and you know what? I was raised in a Georgia household. I probably should have known
And
that.
it pains me. I really dislike, I won't say hate, but I really dislike Bama.
But you're going
But
to do it.
I do think, I think
In Athens at 7:30 at night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Kirby Smart's like 1-5 or 1-6 against Alabama.
Bama's kryptonite.
Yeah. So,
Maybe they fix that. But
but that really, who cares?
Because-
the marquee matchup of the weekend,
we're so happy for Ross.
we are.
The whiteout
Dude,
game.
what?
I'm
I hit you with the we are. Oh my gosh.
Penn State.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. There was.
Whoa. Jeez.
Listen, I'm going to be your adopted Penn State buddy though this time. I'm going to be all in.
All in.
I'm going to wear all white, my white suit that I have hanging in
Mm.
the closet. And we'll have that on for you 7:30 Saturday night on NBC. I'll be watching carefully. I'll be looking for you because I'm excited, but I got Penn State.
You know the toughest thing about a whiteout at 7:30? You're wearing white all day,
Oh, yeah.
tailgating,
Yeah, it might be
trying
a
to
little-
make sure you get ketchup and mustard. You like
Also
only
that.
in your mouth. Don't get it on your clothes.
Right.
Don't want to be tripping in the grass or mud. It's a dangerous game, folks. But
Might be more
I'm
like
pumped.
tan clothing
Yeah.
by the
by
time
the
we get
end.
to 7:30.
Yep.
I'm pumped for you, man. I hope it's a great time. I hope you get the dub. Keep our records right.
Whiteout conditions in Happy Valley.
All right, we'll check in. So that's 4:56 on the dot. I got to go do the 5 p.m. broadcast. We're going to get the Colin on TV for you. Going to share the latest on Umberto now that we do have officially named Tropical Storm. For Ross, I'm Lou. See you on TV in a few minutes.
The Navy, even at Naval Station Mayport, as well as overseas. In